Some words feel like a gentle touch, others leave a mark. Not all of them are spoken out loud. Some are whispered in the ear, and others get etched into memory forever. The right nickname can make a woman miss you for no reason, want you without explanation, and remember you even when you're gone. Do you know the most common mistake mature men make? Treating every woman the same, calling them love, baby, sweetheart, as if that had any real impact. It doesn't, because those names don't ignite anything. They don't awaken a thing. And worse, they make you look like every other guy. Today I'm going to reveal the 7 nicknames no mature woman ever forgets. And I'm not talking about cheesy pet names. I'm talking about words that trigger her desire, her surrender, her devotion. And the last one isn't for everyone. Only a man who doesn't need permission can use it. I'm Celia, and I didn't come here to teach you how to sound sweet. I came to teach you how to speak to her subconscious. Stick around till the end, because if you use these names the right way, you'll never have to beg again. Have you ever wondered why she still remembers that man who's no longer around? He wasn't the most handsome, he wasn't the most successful, but there was something in the way he called her, something that made her feel unique, different, marked. Meanwhile, you keep calling her love, baby, sweetheart, like that's enough, as if a mature woman with a lifetime of stories behind her is going to melt over the same nickname she's heard 1,000 times. You're at the first point of this video, and today you're going to understand the real power of the nickname that awakens her darkest past. A woman can fake a lot of things. She can say everything's fine, that she loves you, that she respects you, but her emotional memory doesn't lie. Some names carry weight. They were spoken by men who shook her to the core, sometimes with tenderness, sometimes with pain, but always with intensity. And when you call her by a nickname that has no history, no imprint, she hears it, but she doesn't feel it. It doesn't reach her. It doesn't mean a thing. I remember a woman once told me, "My ex used to call me witch, and not because I was bad, but because he said I cast spells on him with my eyes." Do you see what I mean? It wasn't a classic compliment. It was a dirty, symbolic, one-of-a-kind nickname. And every time someone new called her pretty or beautiful, she would just smile politely. Because in her mind, the only name that stirred her soul was that one. Because that nickname, spoken with desire and power, became a direct key to her deepest, darkest longing. You keep using the same nicknames all the lukewarm guys use, the ones that leave no trace, the ones that are easy to forget, and not because you're dumb, but because no one ever taught you this. No one ever told you that a nickname isn't decoration. It's a hook. It's a brand. It's a way of saying, to me, you are something that can't be duplicated. But to do that, you have to observe her. You have to spot the part of her that no one talks about, her most hidden side, because only then will you be able to create a nickname that connects with something she doesn't even dare to show. And if you do it right, if you find that word that touches the hidden nerve in her story, it doesn't matter how much time passes, it doesn't matter how many men come after you. There will always be an echo inside her that carries your voice. And that echo, my dear, doesn't fade. Because a woman can forget your face. She can forget your scent, but she won't forget how you made her feel when you called her by a name only you could use. If the first nickname was a key to her emotional past, this second one is a direct trigger for desire. Because not everything a woman remembers makes her tremble, but everything that makes her tremble, she remembers. And that, my dear, has a deeper explanation. Because the body records what the rational mind prefers to stay silent about. We've reached the second key point in this video, and it's the name that activates her desire, without her understanding why. In real psychology, not the magazine kind, but the kind I've seen over and over in sessions, there's something called emotional anchoring. It happens when an intense emotion gets tied to a word, a gesture, a sound. And in the case of women, it often happens when a man makes them feel small, vulnerable, protected, without violence or drama. How? With a nickname that doesn't sound like a boyfriend or a friend or a father. A nickname charged with raw masculine energy, the kind that protects but doesn't yield, that caresses but never kneels, that names, and in naming takes control. You call her love and think you're being affectionate, but in her mind, that word is worn out. It's generic, predictable, the kind of thing a man says when he doesn't want to stir the waters. But when you call her something like little one, or my girl, or any variation that symbolically places her in a space of softness and surrender, without ever losing sight of your strength, something shifts in her. And she doesn't even know why, because it's not the word. It's the energy behind it. It's the intention. It's the way your voice wraps around her, not to convince, but to make her surrender. The Stoics used to talk about self-mastery as the highest form of power, not yelling, not showing off, not seducing from the outside, seducing through presence. And when you use a nickname that carries that presence, that direction, that calm, that asks for nothing but holds everything, you don't need anything else. She feels it. It seeps into her. And even if her mind tries to make sense of it, her body already responded. Because you didn't come in through logic. You came in through skin, through symbolic language, through that secret channel that only emotionally awakened men know how to use. The problem is, many mature men have lost that strength, the strength to name without fear, to desire without asking for permission, to be intense without apologizing for it. And so, they end up using the right words but with no soul, sweet nicknames but no fire. And she hears them, but she doesn't feel them, because in her subconscious, there's no anchoring, no echo, just noise. So listen closely. The name that activates her desire isn't the most poetic, it's the most symbolic, the one that makes her feel special without having to spell it out, the one only a man with direction can use. And if you manage to find it, if you say it with that calm that doesn't beg, with that gaze that needs no explanation, the part of her that forgot what it feels like to truly be a woman will wake up, even if she doesn't say it, even if she denies it, even if it scares her, because true desire isn't reasoned, it's triggered, and you just learned how to do it. You already know a name can spark desire, but if she doesn't feel like she's part of something, that desire fades fast. Because a mature woman isn't chasing empty adrenaline. She's looking for belonging, for emotional connection that doesn't chain her, but still holds her. And this is where the real art begins, the nickname that makes her feel part of your world. We've reached the third point in this video, and this is where everything starts to shift for you, if you understand what it really means to name from a place of leadership. A woman can admire a man, she can want him, she can even give herself to him. But if she doesn't feel like she's part of his vision, his world, his energy, she'll leave, because desire without direction becomes a game. And though she might not say it out loud, she's not here to waste time anymore. That's why, when you call her by a nickname that makes her feel like she belongs to something that's yours, that she holds a symbolic place in your personal universe, something settles inside her. She stops seeking validation and starts seeking permanence. The strategy is simple but powerful. Create a nickname that's not a copy of what every other man says. Make it a word that only makes sense in your world. It could be a diminutive only you use, an inside joke, a secret code, but it has to come from you. Not from the internet, not from a movie, not from a trend. It has to be anchored in your story with her, in something only you can name, and that she recognizes as part of that subtle, private, intimate, and unshakable bond. I once worked with a man who, instead of calling her my love, started calling her my beautiful chaos. At first she laughed, said it was weird, but over time, every time he said it, her body changed, because that nickname described her. It named her without pretending. It said, I see you, and I accept you as you are, but inside my world, under my terms. And she, who used to be rebellious, distant, emotionally restless, started to soften, because for once, she felt someone didn't just want her, he held her. And that, my dear, doesn't happen with a bouquet of flowers. It happens with presence, with direction, with words that aren't cliches, but claim territory. Because when a man knows how to name, he stops begging for attention, stops chasing validation. He becomes a center, an emotional anchor. And a woman, even the most independent, the most guarded, relaxes because she no longer has to hold it all. Because now she belongs, not out of obligation, out of choice. Because that name you give her makes her feel part of something that doesn't need to be explained, only lived. And before we move on to the next nicknames, the ones that stir the dirtiest, softest, and deepest parts of a mature woman, I want you to do something for yourself. If this video is already opening your eyes, hit subscribe now and give it a like. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, and if you've ever used a nickname that left a mark on a woman, write it down or simply comment. I know how to leave a mark, because the next points will take you even deeper. And the final one will be the most powerful. The one only men who no longer compete because they already know who they are can use. Up until now, we've talked about how to spark desire, how to create a sense of belonging, how to leave a mark on a woman with words that cut deep. But now we're stepping into darker territory, because not every nickname needs to be sweet. Some work even better when they're uncomfortable, provocative, hard to grasp at first. This is where most men get lost. They try to be perfect, kind, nice, and they end up invisible. We've reached the fourth point of this video, and it's the secret name women associate with danger. Most men make the same mistake when they try to change. They think that to seduce, they have to soften up. That to be accepted, they need to be politically correct. That to keep a woman, they should speak as if asking for permission. And in doing so, they drain themselves. They dilute their essence. They become neutral, emotionally neutered figures who only speak in safe, sweet, harmless phrases. But that doesn't stir desire. It doesn't spark obsession. It doesn't leave a trace. Because deep female desire, the kind that can't be explained or confessed, gets triggered by what the mind can't control, by what logic doesn't approve of, but the body can't resist. And that's where this nickname comes in. A name that isn't tender or sweet or polite. It's provocative, symbolically masculine. It might sound like a soft tease, a playful challenge, a bold description, but behind it, there's an emotional charge that throws her off balance. And the worst, or the best, part is, she doesn't understand it. She just feels it. That kind of nickname isn't used to please her. It's used to unsettle her, to remind her without saying it outright that you're not here to be liked. You're here to awaken something in her that no other man has dared to touch. For a mature woman, danger isn't the violent man. It's the man who doesn't need approval, who looks at her without fear, who names her with a term no one else uses. And even if it irritates her at first, it's the only name that echoes in her mind when she lies awake alone. The most destructive mistake is thinking that speaking sweetly will guarantee her presence. It won't. Speaking from a place of fear guarantees her indifference. And the danger is that this mistake settles in silently. It starts with thoughts like, I want her to feel comfortable. I'd rather not make her uneasy. I don't want to be misunderstood. But what you're really saying is, I'm afraid to shake her, because if I do, she might leave. What you don't see is that if you don't shake her emotionally once in a while, if you don't stir something she can't explain, she's already leaving, already forgetting you, already replacing you, even if she's still lying next to you. So look closely, the name she associates with danger isn't offensive. It's a code, a symbol, an anchor that connects her to that inner place where she's no longer in control. And there, right there, is where she feels alive again. Because a woman, once she has everything figured out, needs someone to remind her that she doesn't know it all, that there's a man who won't adjust to her, but will challenge her to adjust to him. And that man doesn't use generic pet names. He calls her by names she'll never forget, even if she never fully understands them. We're now at the fifth point in this video, and if you don't get it, you'll keep being that man who gives everything, and still isn't the one she chooses. Today we're talking about the nickname that lowers her guard in seconds. It's not a strong word, not a dominant one. It's an emotional diminutive that disarms her defenses, not with aggression, but with precision. But here's the catch. Most men no longer recognize the exact moment when a woman needs to be touched emotionally without being touched physically. Do you know what men who've lost their strength tend to do? They try to make up for it with affection. They flood women with empty sweetness, with worn-out phrases like, my love, my life, princess. And every word, instead of pulling her closer, pushes her further away. Because it's not the words themselves that push her away. It's the energy behind them. She can feel it. She knows that nickname is coming from a place of need, of lack, of fear of losing her. And when a woman senses fear, she stops respecting you. But there's another kind of word, one that seems small, insignificant, but if you use it at the right moment, it can lower her energy. It can open her chest, soften her eyes. That nickname isn't something you make up. It's something you discover. It comes from watching her, from knowing her gestures, her fears, her way of shielding herself when she feels fragile. And when you catch that exact moment, when she's about to explode, shut down, or defend herself, and you drop that nickname right then, what you're really saying without words is, you don't have to protect yourself with me. And right there is when she lets her guard down. Not because you asked her to, but because your tone and your gaze made her feel she's safe. The trap is to keep using generic nicknames to try to achieve that, and that's how you fall into the worst cycle. She pulls away, you drown her in sweet phrases, she gets more irritated, you try harder with tenderness, and you end up looking like a needy little boy. And that doesn't just kill desire, it kills respect, it kills connection, because no woman wants to sleep with a man who talks to her like she's his emotional mommy. So how do you turn it around? Not with flowers, not with promises, not with emotional blackmail. You turn it around with clarity, with observation, with stillness, with the ability to name her only when her energy is ready to receive it. That takes presence, control, silence. And when that silence is broken by the right nickname, at the right moment, she feels it in her chest. Not because of the word, because of the man who said it. Because that man isn't begging, he's leading. Change is possible, but not for the desperate, only for those who are willing to reclaim their center, to stop acting from fear and start acting from truth. The truth that you're not here to soothe her, you're here to hold her. You're not here to seek her approval, you're here to remind her that she's already been chosen, and that's why she can let her guard down. Not for just anyone, only for you, if you know how. If the last nickname calmed her, this one ignites her. Because a woman doesn't just want safety, she wants fire. She wants to feel there's a side of you that isn't predictable, that isn't proper, that isn't morally comfortable, but keeps her up at night. We've reached the 6th point in this video, and this one isn't about tenderness or balance. This is about the name that awakens her dirtiest side. Picture this, it's nighttime. You're with her. The room is quiet, you look at her. She looks down, says nothing, and you, without changing your tone, say that nickname only you use when she finally gives in. That name that doesn't belong in any dictionary of affection. That isn't sweet, but isn't crude either. It's a name loaded with desire, with private history, with secret connection. And in that moment, her body shifts. It tenses. It opens. Her breathing changes. Because that name doesn't just name her, it undresses her. There are words you don't say in daylight, not because they're forbidden, but because they don't make sense without the right energy behind them. And when you find that nickname that connects her to her most hidden side, the one she doesn't show in public, the one she hides even from herself, you're giving her permission to stop being the proper woman, the perfect mom, the controlled wife. You're telling her, with me, you can be your wildest self, and I won't judge you. I'll hold you. And that makes her addicted. But if you can't hold that space, if you use those kinds of names out of desperation or childish play, it ruins everything. Because she'll feel you're not ready to handle her darkness, that you're pretending to be intense, but you're not. And a mature woman, when she sees a man afraid of her desire, shuts down. She turns you into a brother, a friend, an emotional support, but never again a man. And do you know what happens to the man who never dared to name her that way? He becomes the invisible provider, the one who's there but doesn't ignite, the one who brings stability but provokes nothing. And when that happens, she starts looking for that energy elsewhere, not always through her body, sometimes through fantasy, through a glance from someone else, through a memory that becomes her escape. And you, still there, calling her my love, don't even realize you're no longer speaking to a woman, you're talking to a mask. The name that awakens her dirtiest side isn't chosen, it's revealed. It's the result of real connection, of a steady gaze, of desire without guilt. It's that word that makes no logical sense, but transforms her into the most vulnerable and powerful version of herself at the same time. And when a woman feels she can give that to you, she doesn't leave, because her shadow, her fire, and her soul already carry your name. Even if you never say it out loud, even if no one else understands it, because that nickname isn't for the world, it's for her and for you, when both of you stop pretending. If the last nickname was a doorway to her hidden desires, this final one is a mark, a declaration, a silent conquest that's non-negotiable. Because when a mature woman gives herself to you, body, mind, and soul, she needs to know you're not playing at seduction. She needs to know you dominate her emotionally without raising your voice, without imposing, without begging. And only a man who knows when to speak and how to name her can do that. We've reached the 7th point of this video, and this is the nickname only a dominant man can use. It's not about shouting a name to earn her respect. It's not about pretending to be tough or faking strength. It's about what she feels when you say it, how her body reacts to a word that holds no sweetness but pure power. This nickname isn't given right away. It's not repeated. It's not explained. Because only a man who's already earned his place can use it without looking foolish. A man who no longer competes, who doesn't beg, who doesn't chase, who simply is. When a man has direction, he doesn't need to raise his voice to be heard. He doesn't need long speeches to seduce. His gaze, his silence, his presence already do the work. And this nickname, the final one, the ultimate one, seals the dynamic. You don't ask if she likes it. You don't ask for permission to use it. You just say it. With firmness, with calm, with the certainty that she's already surrendered. And if you've done it right, that nickname becomes her emotional anchor, her secret code, her reminder that she's no longer just a free woman, she's a chosen one, marked, desired. But if you come this far with fear, with doubt, with guilt, don't even try, because this nickname isn't for everyone. It's only for those who've broken free from the need to be liked, for those who've stopped apologizing for their desire, for those who understand that a woman doesn't stay because of your flowers, your promises, or your niceness. She stays because with you, she doesn't have to lead, because you already do. And that kind of man isn't made. He's chosen, with courage, with clarity, with a presence that never kneels again. This nickname, the last one, isn't shouted. It's whispered. It's said once, and it sticks. Because when a mature woman hears a man name her with power, she never forgets, even if years pass, even if she walks away, even if she tries to erase it. It's too late, because that name wasn't something you made up. It was revealed by her surrender, her devotion, her desire. So look at yourself now. Are you ready to stop being just another man? Are you ready to stop using the nicknames everyone else uses and start leaving a mark with your voice in a place no other man has ever reached? Then remember this, it's not the nickname that obsesses her, it's you, when you finally speak with desire, with power, with direction, without asking for permission, without begging, without losing yourself to please her. Because the man who uses this nickname has no competition. He has presence, and that, my dear, can't be imitated, it must be embodied. If you've made it to the end of this video, you're not just any man. Because not everyone can handle hearing these truths. Not everyone is ready to realize that the way they speak, seduce, and name has been a hollow echo of what unconscious men do every day. But not you. You stayed. And that says something. It says you're tired of being ignored, forgotten, just another guy. It says you're ready to take your power back. And that starts today, not tomorrow. Because now you know, every word you say can either leave a mark or erase you. The choice is yours. I want you to make it clear. Drop a short comment below, I know how to name her. And tell me what country you're watching from, because it doesn't matter if you're in the US, the UK, Australia, or any corner of the world. When a man wakes up, he becomes a leader, a presence. And this channel, House of Wisdom, exists for that reason, not to comfort you, to tell you the truth, to return your strength, your desire, your clarity. Because you weren't born to be someone's emotional pet. You were born to be a man, one who leaves a mark with his voice, not with his neediness. I'm Celia, woman, psychologist, and therapist. I've spent over 20 years listening to the things women never tell their husbands. And that's why I'm here. So you don't become that dull, lukewarm man being emotionally used by a woman who no longer respects him. This channel isn't for everyone. It's for those who've stopped lying to themselves, for those who are ready to face the truth and act differently. Subscribe now. Be part of this community of men who no longer ask for permission to reclaim their worth. And share this video with that friend who still calls a woman my love, while she looks at him like he's part of the furniture. Because sometimes what a man needs to wake up isn't a gentle touch. It's a truth that shakes him. And don't go just yet. This conversation isn't over. Watch the 2 videos that will pop up on your screen. Pick the one that makes you the most uncomfortable. Because right there, where you least want to look, is exactly where you'll find what you most need to hear.